Hey everybody, this is my 55-gallon T-bar tank. Just wanted to do a brief update tonight. Got a couple little things to talk about of interest in here. The first thing I want to talk about is what I noticed when I came in here to feed tonight, and that is my two mystery snails. Not entirely sure what we're seeing. Could be just one snail happens to be crawling across the back of the other one. Could be nuptials. Not sure what we're seeing. I have not seen any activity whatsoever. They haven't moved. I'm not seeing any antennae moving around or waggling about. I've only seen them like this for the last 5 to 10 minutes maybe, so who knows what's been going on all day. But right now, that's what I'm seeing. Just one snail on the back of the other. So, definitely interesting. Again, I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here. I'm trying to determine whether these two are mating or what. I suppose that's possible. I can't see around the backside there. There might be some more activity going on that I can't see. And I've also noticed my two Siamese Alge Eaters just doing this sort of up and down swimming in the corner. I've never really noticed them doing that before. I don't know if that's something I should be concerned about or what, but I've never noticed that behavior before either. Interesting. So the other thing is that I put a whole bunch of guppies in here the other day, and I already had a couple of females, and my office tank is just getting overrun with guppies. So I wound up getting a scoop in there and just scooping out as many as I could, and I dumped them in here in the tank, and of course we just missed it. The T-bar went down there in the bottom and was going after this little one. It's a little yellow one back there in the corner. And the angelfish have shown some interest, but not really. You can see now the angelfish is kind of eyeballing it up, and I've seen them kind of half-heartedly go after them. When I first dumped them in the tank, it was a whole bunch of them, and there's a bunch of fry and everything else. And the angelfish didn't seem to know what to do. They kind of seemed interested, but not really. Oddly, my smallest angelfish here, my crystal white, was the most aggressive in going after the small fish. And I did see it nibble up a few of the little fry. And then, of course, the fry just sort of drifted down into all the leaves and everything and disappeared. So it's possible that there are still some fry in the tank, even though I haven't seen any. Now, I haven't bent down and looked up against the surface to see what we got swimming around, but I would imagine any fry up at the surface will be long gone. So that's probably just the other females. Now, I tried to prevent putting a male in the tank. I'm not, trying to breed guppies in this tank. It's just I already had a female in here, so putting some more females just to separate them and get rid of them is about one of my only options. The larger females don't get eaten in this tank, even though the fry may. So if I've got pregnant females that go in here, I don't really care if they drop fry. You never really even notice it. They just vanish before you ever even know they're in the tank. So it's a good place to put my females without having to worry about them being eaten themselves. So the male is still up in my office tank. In fact, I've got a few males in there now, and I've got a bunch of other young ones, and then I got a bunch of tiny little fry in there. So no doubt as time goes on and they get bigger, I'll have more males and more females coming up. So I will definitely have more guppies. I've got pretty much a lifetime supply of them right now. The other thing I wanted to point out about the tank is that my flowers here on my Nubius have pretty much passed their prime. They won't fully open when they're submerged like this. They do open up pretty nicely, and they get pretty close to being a fully opened flower, but it never really fully opens. So I'm going to get in there with my scissors here either tonight or tomorrow, next day or two. This one you can definitely tell it's past its prime. You can see the edge of the, I don't know what it's called, but sort of that green casing is getting sort of raggedy looking around the edge, and it's sort of the head of it's kind of turned back down. It was perfectly upright as of yesterday. So we're definitely getting some, visual signs that we're past our prime. And if you look right there, you can see a nice little green spike. That's a brand new growth. I don't know, don't think that's going to be a flower spike. I think that's just going to be a new leaf coming off the end. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a new leaf coming off the end of that rhizome there. So it's not going to be too long before I got to get in here and cut the end of that rhizome off again. So I'll probably have some Anubias for sale in the not too distant future. Right now I've got a bucket of water Sprite, and I got a little bit of Java fern in there. So I'll put my email down below. If you are interested in buying some plants from me, hit me up on the email and we can discuss it. Otherwise, the last thing I want to talk about with this tank is the mineral stones that I put in here. So far, I've not noticed any change in my pH. Again, I haven't really tested the water hardness yet. That's kind of an annoying test to do, and I just haven't really bothered to getting around to doing it yet. But I will. I'm giving it a couple of weeks to really let the stones do their thing in there. If the pH hasn't shifted, then I can't imagine the water hardness has shifted significantly either. And I've done a pretty big water change on this tank fairly recently, so if we are going to allow the hardness to come up with the, we need time for that to happen. We need to allow that mineral stone to dissolve into the tank, and then as the mineral content in the water increases, that will increase the hardness, possibly. So we'll test for that here in a little while, but right now, as I said, the mineral stones are not doing anything to the pH. But it makes me wonder, now that I've got the mineral stones in the water, is that not having some kind of an impact on my snails here? Again, it still just looks to me like they haven't moved at all, and they haven't since I've seen them like this, a little while ago. So again, not really sure what's going on, but it's definitely interesting. I've never seen it before. And as always, if I see something interesting, or something I find interesting anyway, or something I've never seen before, I always try to get it on video and share it with everybody. So make sure you're subscribed. That way you won't miss anything I got coming up. You never know what it's going to be with me. I always, like I said, try to get stuff interesting on video when I can. And if you're subscribed, you won't miss any of it. So don't forget, this one here is my T-bar tank. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you real soon in the next one.